Lift trucks are remarkable tools, a mixture of power and agility which, in the hands of a trained operator, can lift, transport, and place load after heavy load with great precision. The lift truck plays a major role in the ongoing movement of goods and material, and in doing so, contributes to our standard of living. As with any tool, the lift truck is just an extension of our own abilities. When the lift truck operator steps into his truck and takes control, the power and the abilities of the machine have become his to use in the performance of his job. This program was produced for you, the professional lift truck operator. Throughout it, we'll discuss lift truck safety and show many of the procedures and practices for safe operation. But safely operating a lift truck requires more than knowing what to do to avoid accidents, although knowledge plays a critical role. At the very center of safe lift truck operation is you, the operator, accepting responsibility for the operation of an extremely useful and powerful machine that, when improperly or carelessly used, has the potential to hurt you or someone else. You, as the professional lift truck operator, must make safe lift truck operation your primary responsibility. Let's begin by looking at how lift truck accidents can happen and what you can do to prevent them. Wherever lift trucks and pedestrians are in the same area, the potential for an accident exists. Even a slow-moving lift truck represents an immense amount of weight, and if a person is struck or pinned by a lift truck, the injuries can be serious. In many locations throughout the workplace, lift truck operators and pedestrians find themselves in situations where they must share the same area. The operator must remember that the pedestrian always has the right-of-way. The pedestrian may not be familiar with the area or may not realize the need for caution. When pedestrians are in your operating area, go slow and remain alert. Using good judgment will go a long way in preventing an accident. It's important to stay within marked travel lanes and within the areas designated for lift truck operation. You should sound your horn at all blind intersections and before backing. If your truck is equipped with a backup alarm, warning lights, or mirrors, they should be kept in good working order. Remember that these types of safety equipment can help you in seeing and being seen, but are not a substitute for cautious operation. Many people simply don't realize just how heavy a lift truck is. A 5,000-pound capacity lift truck with a load can weigh as much as 15,000 pounds, a weight equal to 6 normal-size automobiles. Because of the amount of weight, the braking distance needed to stop a lift truck is greater than that needed to stop an automobile traveling at the same speed. Another important thing to keep in mind when operating a lift truck is rear-end swing. Rear steering gives the truck the ability to be turned tightly to the left or right for maneuvering in confined areas. Many lift trucks can pivot around the front drive wheel. A pedestrian may not realize the rear of the truck can move laterally and may allow himself to get in a tight spot. A good safety practice is to keep the lift truck well away from people and keep people well away from the area around the truck. Even when you're not moving, the truck could roll, even slightly, and injure someone. An object falling from a raised load may result in personal injury or product damage. Never allow anyone to walk under or near raised forks or attachments. Lift trucks are designed to handle unitized loads on pallets, skids, in wire containers, or other types of unitized loads. If a lift truck is used to do things it was not designed for, the chances of having an accident are greatly increased. If you use a lift truck to lift personnel, you put that person in a dangerous situation. There are specialized types of man-lift equipment designed for this purpose, and serious accidents can result if a lift truck is used in this way. In addition, the design of lift trucks allows for only one person on board, and that's the operator. There's no room for a passenger. Never allow anyone to ride on your lift truck. Besides watching out for pedestrians and co-workers, the operator needs to take care to prevent injury to himself. When operating a lift truck, you should stay within the confines of the operator's compartment at all times. and use the operator restraint system if the truck has one. The operator's compartment and operator restraint systems are designed to safely contain and protect the operator. You may be required to operate in tight areas with minimum clearances, so it's important to keep yourself well within the operator's compartment. Don't allow yourself to get into the habit of letting a foot or an elbow or any other part of your body ride outside the confines of the compartment. Throughout the workday, you may have to get on and off your truck hundreds of times, maybe just for a few seconds, but when you've left the operator's compartment, the truck is unattended. When you leave the operator's compartment, even momentarily, always lower the forks, put the truck in neutral, set the parking brake, and turn the key off. If this is not done, the truck could start to move on its own and may cause an accident or material damage. Walkie pallet trucks don't have an operator's compartment. When operating this type of truck, you're in a situation similar to that of a pedestrian around an operating truck. Keep your feet well away from the truck and don't get between the truck and a fixed object. Even though these trucks don't have an upright and are smaller, don't be deceived. They handle a lot of weight too. Anyone who has seen a lift truck in operation realizes the lifting power of the upright mechanism. Lift chains, hydraulic supply hoses, and structural members all move as the upright extends and retracts, lifting and lowering thousands of pounds. It may seem like a shortcut to reach through the upright to grab a ticket or adjust an object on the load, but never do it. If the upright becomes stuck or hangs up, get qualified help. Never climb on or reach into an upright for any reason. It's always a good practice to use any personal safety equipment which may be required for your work area, such as safety glasses, hard hats, and safety shoes. As already mentioned, lift trucks are designed to engage a unitized load, transport the load, and place it or stack it. The truck's interaction with the load and the condition of the load itself are important safety concerns. For the experienced operator, a load which has not been properly placed on the pallet or one that has come loose represents a threat to his safety and to the safety of those around him. Attempting to handle a load that is unstable or appears loose will surely result in product damage and could hurt someone. As a lift truck operator, it is your responsibility to make sure the loads you carry are securely stacked before you pick it up. You should also be on the lookout for damaged pallets. A load on a broken or weak pallet is dangerous. If you find a defective pallet, remove it from use until it is repaired. Handling only stable loads on good pallets will save time, money, and prevent accidents. It's also important to know the approximate weight of the loads you handle and not to exceed your truck's capacity. Your truck's rated capacity is found on the data plate, which is permanently attached to the chassis. Check with your supervisor when in doubt about the capacity of your truck or the weight of a load. When you are satisfied with the condition of the load and know its approximate weight, spread the adjustable forks to fit the load. The wider, the better. As you approach the load, position the forks so that the weight of the load will be evenly distributed across both forks. Engage the load squarely until it rests against the vertical portion of the forks or the load backrest. Be sure to check your fork length. The forks must extend at least 2/3 of the length of the load. When traveling with a load, keep the forks about 6 to 8 inches off the floor and the upright tilted back to help maintain stability. If the load is large or high and blocks your forward view, travel in reverse. In most operations where lift trucks are used, the working environment is composed of several locations. Each location can be quite different, and the lift truck operator should be aware of the different conditions within the operating environment. Let's take a look at several operating environments and what you should be aware of when operating there. Operating in aisles and other confined areas presents situations which make visibility and clearance important considerations. Aisles are sometimes poorly lighted, and the racking system can obstruct the operator's view at corners and intersections. Aisles may be low traffic areas, but you never know when you might meet another truck or a pedestrian. Operators are required to slow down and sound their horn at cross aisles and other locations where vision is obstructed. You should never attempt to pass any vehicle traveling in the same direction at any intersection, blind spots, or other potentially dangerous locations. Pay attention to all safety regulations, such as speed limits, stop signs, and marked travel lanes. Remember that it's important to always travel at a speed that will permit the truck to be brought to a complete stop in a safe manner. Safely placing and removing loads from high racks is probably the most demanding aspect of aisle operation. Bring the truck in square to the rack. The load should be in the travel position with the upright slightly tilted back. Raise the load to the height necessary to clear the support beam. Slowly move the truck forward until the pallet is over both the back and front support beams, and tilt the forks forward until they are level. Lower the forks just enough to let the load rest squarely on the support beams. The load should have a minimum of 2 inches overhanging both the front and back beams and not contact other loads. A poorly placed load will cause problems for you or someone else when it's retrieved. Now, back the truck up until the forks have cleared the pallet and lower the forks to the travel position. Use the same procedures in reverse when removing a load from a rack. When right angle stacking, or when it's necessary to travel with the load raised to clear low objects, move very slowly and avoid sharp turns. Don't allow yourself to get into a hurry. A smooth, precise method of operation is not only safer, but more productive. Other special conditions that can be found in confined areas are overhead obstructions like pipes, beams, heating or air conditioning units. Moving into an overhead obstruction with a raised load can cause you to lose the load or even to tip over, so always maintain good overhead clearance. Loading docks are another area that present dangerous situations. Dock areas are high traffic areas where lift trucks and pedestrians must share the area. In addition, there are constant changes in the operating environment as loads are staged in and out. Paths of travel may be temporarily blocked, and clearances between loads and other objects may change. Operating surfaces on and around docks are subject to changes in the weather and can become slippery from water or ice. You need to be aware of changing conditions and operate your lift truck accordingly. Loading docks, or any area in which there may be a ledge or a drop-off, present the potential for a lift truck to fall off this raised surface. Placing a wheel off a ledge could cause the truck to fall over. Be extremely cautious when operating around drop-offs to avoid getting too close to the edge. Don't allow yourself to get in a tight spot around any type of drop-off. Moving in and out of tractor trailers or rail cars can also create the potential for an accident. Operators should familiarize themselves with the procedures in their workplace for safely unloading or loading trailers or rail cars. The key to safety here is good communication. Never take for granted that a trailer or rail car is braked or chalked. Take time to check for yourself. Talk with the truck driver to make sure the trailer brake has been applied and that the wheels are chalked. Let him know you'll be working in the trailer. Fixed jacks may be necessary to support a semi-trailer during loading or unloading when the trailer is not coupled to a tractor. Make sure the jacks are fully lowered and securely in place. Check the container flooring for breaks or weaknesses before operating on them. Use trailer-to-dock locking systems if available, and be sure that dock boards and bridge plates are securely in place. Travel slowly in and out of trailers. High-speed travel or sudden acceleration can jar dock boards loose. Throughout the loading or unloading process, be aware of possible trailer drift away from the dock. Dock operations sometimes include traveling up and down ramps or grades. Use caution. Follow a line of travel straight up or down the incline. As a lift truck travels up or down an incline, the truck's center of gravity moves toward the tipping axis. Add to this the dynamic forces of turning, and the truck could tip over. Never turn on a ramp or a grade. When you're carrying a load on any inclined surface, keep the forks pointed up grade. When the truck is unloaded, travel with the forks pointed down grade and raised only enough to clear the bottom of the ramp. Yard operations present their own set of safety considerations. As with loading docks, weather can affect yard operations. You should pay attention to operating surfaces as they may change and affect safe operation. In addition, yard surfaces are often not as smooth as indoor surfaces and can differ in grade and composition from area to area. Internal combustion lift trucks equipped with pneumatic tires are the most common type of truck used in yard applications. These trucks have the power needed to handle large loads and larger tires that provide better traction and stability on yard surfaces. Pneumatic tires require that the air pressure be consistently monitored to assure proper inflation. Incorrect tire pressure decreases a truck's stability and can cause the truck to tip over. Also, operators need to be on the lookout for and remove any objects or debris in the yard which could puncture a tire. When operating in a yard area, factors can combine to cause a lateral tip over. If you mix a raised load with a high travel speed or low tire pressure and then hit a pothole or a break in the pavement, you can cause a lift truck to tip over. Always keep your truck on solid, improved operating surfaces and watch out for soft shoulders and other surface conditions which can make the truck unstable. In lateral tip-over accidents, the operator cannot react quickly enough to jump clear of the truck and the overhead guard. To reduce the possibility of injury, it is best for the operator to remain securely in the seat and within the confines of the operator's compartment. Clark has made a safety seat operator restraint system standard equipment on all IC cushion trucks and pneumatic trucks through 10,000-pound capacity. This operator restraint system includes the safety seat, a lap belt, and a seat deck latch. A safety seat helps to contain the operator's arms and upper body, while the lap belt secures his hips to enable him to stay in the seat as the truck tips. The operator should firmly grip the steering wheel and push back into the seat. At the same time, he should brace his feet against the floorboard and remain rigid until he has ridden out the fall. Fortunately, tip-overs are infrequent, and since the introduction of this restraint system, this type of accident has resulted in less serious injuries to the operator. Often, yard operations will have more than their fair share of oversized loads. When handling oversized loads, you will need room. Move slowly, especially around turns, and watch your clearances. A long or high load will reduce the capacity of your truck if the center of gravity of the load extends beyond the prescribed load center used to rate the truck capacity. This information is found on the truck's data plate. A wide load must be centered on the forks to maintain the side-to-side stability of the truck. Lift trucks are highly specialized machines. Each type of truck is designed to perform specific tasks within certain environments. A lift truck is designed with a maximum load capacity, a maximum lifting height, and many other specifications which make it right for some jobs and not right for others. It's very important to use the right truck for the job at hand and to never exceed a truck's specifications. Regardless of which type of lift truck you are trained to operate in the course of your job, it's very important that you read and understand all the information in the operator's instruction manual. The correct procedures for conducting the pre-operational inspection and a description of the major components for each model are found in the operator's instruction manual. The operator's manual is an important piece of safety equipment. It'll provide you with the specific information you'll need to know to safely and efficiently operate your lift truck. It should be kept with the truck at all times so that it's available for quick reference. When you must leave your truck unattended or when your shift has been completed, park your lift truck in a designated area away from traffic. Never park on a grade. Lower the forks fully and tilt them forward until they rest flatly on the ground. Place the directional control in the neutral position Set the parking brake and remove the key. Never leave your truck blocking any emergency exits or equipment. Remember that no matter which type of lift truck you're operating, it's a piece of heavy equipment, and you must be in control of it at all times. There should never be a reason to get into a hurry, even when the pressure is on. A smooth, precise method of operation is not only safer, but more productive. Most accidents occur when the operator fails to keep his attention focused on the operation of the lift truck or gets careless. If an operator is tired or distracted, or under the influence of drugs or alcohol, accidents are much more likely to occur. And an accident affects everyone. Co-workers, family, and friends all suffer the effects of an accident. We at Clark are committed to safety. Every time a lift truck operator begins their workday, we want him or her to have the information, the training, and the skill to do the job safely and productively.